It's my pleasure to be here today in conjunction with HP to deliver this webinar on HP Anywhere. As I start out here, I'll spend a few minutes on some slides, and then we'll actually get into looking at the demo environments and walking through some of the demos and capabilities of HP Anywhere. HP Anywhere is different. It's different than what's on the market from a couple of perspectives. Frankly, HP Anywhere has taken the approach of really providing a single solution to solve many of the challenges that enterprises are facing in developing mobile apps, or coming up with a mobile strategy and delivering mobile capabilities to people inside and outside of the enterprise. Really addressing, the needs of several areas. The bring your own device challenge that I think every organization is faced with, the developer productivity or the mobile app developer productivity, security and distribution of those apps inside of the enterprise. And so what HP Anywhere provides at the highest level, and I have some detailed slides I'll show here, but it's an HTML5 based UI framework with some very unique embedded collaboration features that allow you to collaborate both between a set of mini apps as well as with users and with other participants within the HP Anywhere environment. And it provides this mini app concept that encourages product teams to focus on the necessary features and encourages it to build apps that are really specific to solve those one or two things that the app needs to do. And as we as Results Positive have gone through the last couple of years, we've been working with HP Anywhere really since its inception, and we've been a beta partner with HP and worked with the development team on the platform. And what we're finding out is the use cases that really fit well within mobile are those use cases that are very simplistic in a sense that a developer, or somebody who's supporting the infrastructure, the PC infrastructure in an organization and works for the operations team and is mobile in the sense that they go within the office to people's desktops who are having challenges and are working on incidents. A use case like that where they have a ticket that's on their mobile device and it tells them where to go, and when they get there, they try to troubleshoot it, and they can't get it from a level 1 perspective, so they immediately take a photo of the challenge with their mobile device, and then that's automatically uploaded to the ticket so that the tier 2 incident problem resolution team can pick it up. Those are the use cases where that saves a lot of time, right? You don't have to get on there and open up your email and open up your ITSM solution and query up your ticket and find it and attach a screenshot. You just take a picture of it and it's automatically attached. And so those are the simplistic use cases that as we've gone through this, we're finding really resonate within organizations. And there's a lot of web-based applications within organizations and back-end systems where those simplistic use cases really provide productivity to the organization, and HP Anywhere gives you a framework to build on. The other side of this is the container with the security permissions and the application catalog for the enterprise, and then it uses the Eclipse plugin, and we'll go into that for easy app dev. And so HP Anywhere is different because it's not an MDM. It's an MDM, plus it gives you a developer platform, plus it gives you a way to distribute and secure the apps, and it gives you things like single sign-on to the enterprise, or enterprise authentication, so that you can authenticate your enterprise users and then pass that on to all the back-end systems that the apps use. So as we jump into this a little bit more, from an end-user perspective, they want to bring their own device, or they want to have a company-sponsored device, and they want to be able to access their applications from any device, anytime on, with single sign-on authentication. And they want to be able to access the services without, the challenging and intrusive IT policies and governance that they face with some of the web-based or desktop-type apps. And they want, from a developer perspective, quick and easy access to be able to develop the apps. Now, from an IT perspective, it's a much different point of view, right? They want to build apps that run on everything. They want to build it once without a bunch of overheads. They want to build it as quickly and efficiently as possible, build it once and run it anywhere. They're obviously really, really concerned about security. From a distribution perspective, they want to control distribution so that only authenticated employees can get access to the back-end systems and extend their web-based security policies to those systems. And from a development perspective, they need to ensure security again and that the back-end systems are secure, encrypted, and managed. And so as you look at the platform supporting all of these, there's really a lot to the concept or to the overall platform that supports both sides of this from an end-user perspective and an IT perspective. Once again, this is just kind of recapping. From an employee or user perspective, it's a single place for all of your enterprise access. So it's a container on your mobile device or on your desktop that allows very simplistic mini apps to be accessed within, well, in even more complex. And I say simplistic because that's the use cases we hear a lot, but you can develop, as you'll see, anything you want within the platform. Of course, from a developer perspective, we have the developer platform, and I'll show that. And from an IT administration perspective, you have the HP Anywhere server platform where you manage the role-based access and the connectivity to those back-end systems. So from a developer perspective, many developers are using the Eclipse plugin, and that's the software development kit that HP Anywhere embeds within the platform. And so the development of the apps is done within the Eclipse SDK, and this is just some screenshots of those as well. And I'll go into this, and you can do your standard app development and simulation of the apps, and I'll walk through this as we go through the process in the demo. Even things like virtualization to the back-end server can be handled within the development platform. HP Anywhere, this is a shot of the dev zone. This is where you can go to get everything you need to know about HP Anywhere, including downloading the IDE. There's a really good set of user community out here where they're asking questions and answering questions about the platform and the challenges of developing apps on the platform. And so all of that is available, a very mature community that's growing out there. And then from the enterprise perspective, we'll cover the HP Anywhere server and how you administer and the role-based access and load the mini apps and things like that. And then it also gives you the ability to build your own within your enterprise an app store. So, HP has one of these, and HP is absolutely using HP Anywhere across their 300-some thousand employees to deliver apps to their enterprise. And they have their own internal app store. And if you're a large enterprise that starts to build a lot of apps, you can actually, within the platform, build an application catalog, an app store that your enterprise users can access. And that's where the users would get those from. From a security perspective, this is what HP Anywhere is going to look like. HP Anywhere on the mobile device is going to end up being just a single icon that you can customize, and then all of the mini apps that were within the enterprise are contained within that container. So you authenticate one time, and I'll show this on my mobile device, into HP Anywhere, and then you access a set of apps so they run in that secure container. You are authenticated into the enterprise as you log into the mobile app, and then you get access to what you've been given access to by the administration team. The cart here can be configured to take you to your own internal app store. And then the other thing about HP Anywhere, because it's HTML5, it's platform agnostic. So whether it's running it on a tablet or a big iPad or an iPad mini or a Samsung device or iPhone, or a desktop, all of those are supported as part of the development platform. And so it's the concept of developing once and running it anywhere that's supported within the platform. So how is it unique? And I think we've covered this quite a bit, but the one thing we haven't covered a lot is this front page collaboration, where you have the ability within apps, and the use case I always give is if you had an app that were an expense app, for instance, and you captured all of the receipts on your phone and you filled in your expense report very quickly by taking those photos and associating them with expense lines, and you go ahead and submit your app or submit your expense report, this collaboration would allow you to, say that expense report came back immediately as denied because of some rule within the system. Possibly you exceeded a threshold set by the organization, and so that submission of that expense report is initially denied. So what you could use the collaboration for is immediately, while you're on that expense report within the app, to be able to include your manager and immediately provide an explanation of why you exceeded that threshold. Say you spent too much for dinner or something, and you could get approval real time within the collaboration engine, and that all becomes part of the container about that transaction that's on the front page. It's historically searchable. It's really metadata about that transaction. And so I like to view this collaboration as a way to integrate systems and solutions like email into your back office systems, and put that collaboration in a place where historically you're able to search the threads, but you don't have to use email and you don't have to attach it. It just becomes part of the process. And so as we're building out more and more of these HP Anywhere apps, we're finding lots of need for this collaboration, and those are things that I think is really something that people are just starting to realize the value of saying, instead of sending an email to your manager and saying, Joe, my expense report got rejected because I overspent on dinner, you include him within that collaboration thread and say, Joe, I spent more over dinner because I was with this client. Can you please approve? And that approval is done real time, and then that's forever historically part of the transaction. And it's an integration to your email system without actually building a point-to-point integration. Some details here. The solution anatomy of HP Anywhere. And I think this is a difficult one to get through, but when you look at your back-end systems or your back-office systems, whether it be HP-provided solutions or other solutions within the enterprise, clearly they're behind a firewall. You have your intranet here where you're accessing those solutions and running your day-to-day business. And the way HP Anywhere deals with that is fundamentally creating these set of mini apps and then leveraging APIs to access the stuff that's behind the firewall from the mobile device. And it uses this HP Anywhere server or platform to do that. And then when you get out to the mobile shell, you have your set of mini apps ultimately that come from a catalog or can be in a catalog and sit on a device. And so that's kind of the whole anatomy of the HP Anywhere solution, and you'll see that as we walk through the demos of each piece of this. We'll first start by focusing on the admin side of this. So we'll go the admin quickly, and then we'll look at the end user perspective, and then we'll go into the developer perspective. So from an admin perspective, just very quickly, the HP Anywhere platform, I'm logged into the administrative council of the platform, and these are my set of mini apps that I've loaded into this particular platform. And each of these apps has a set of data sources. There are users associated with the applications, and there are a bunch of application level settings, including the ability to deal with push notifications for both Apple and Android devices that you see you can set up here. This is where you configure your app catalog. And these settings also can be specific to every mini app, so you can have specific mini app setups as well. And so there's not much glory in looking at this other than the UI for being able to maintain and install the apps within the platform. And so that's really the administration piece of this, and where you tie, the security authorization groups who can access the apps are associated. So you associate a user with an authorization group, you add those groups to the apps, and then they're able to access those through the platform. And I'll show that as we go through the process of looking at the end user perspective. So let me now jump and show you what this looks like for an end user. And I'm going to do this a couple of ways. First, I'm going to show you what it might look like accessing these apps via your desktop. And so I'm accessing the HP Anywhere platform. I'm presented with a set of mini apps that I have access to. And I'll just jump into a couple of these. So a couple of these are out-of-the-box HP apps that are delivered with HP Anywhere for submitting defects to ALM and other things. But some of these are apps that we've developed on the platform. One is an app that we developed for HP for the HP Vertica Big Data Conference. And I'll just kind of show you what the app looks like on the web. And so this is going to be the same app that we see running on the desktop, and you're able to see, for instance, an overview of this session that was at the conference, and then you can get in and view the speakers. And on the desktop, you can drag it left and right just like you would on the mobile device to get the description of the speakers as you go through it. And so these are some of the examples of what you can do from a mobile app perspective. You notice we're looking at all sorts of different capabilities within this particular app as an example. Now, if I go ahead and go home and go back into another app, let me open up another app called Sales Anywhere. And this is an app that we're developing for HP, where they're gonna allow their sales reps to access this app and get fundamentally a product catalog. And so the use case is a rep is in the field working with a customer, and they're going through and discussing some products. The rep will real time have access to the ability to see case studies, analyst white papers, and other things associated with that. And so if, for instance, we go into the data sheet here, you can see Performance Center 1152, and you can actually drill right into the app and see that. So you can do that from the desktop, but I'll also show you how you can do the exact same function on your mobile device. So let me go ahead and start up my mobile device here to give you that perspective. And so I'm logged into the same set of apps here on my mobile device, and we'll go into that same Sales Anywhere app that we were just in. You see the same type of layout that we saw here on the other one, but it's now running on my iPhone. So that's really the end user perspective, where you look at it from a desktop perspective or from a mobile device. And then finally, we'll go in here to the developer perspective. So from a developer perspective, I'm now in the Eclipse IDE, and I pulled up an app here called the Events app, and just for purposes of being able to show how a developer would interact with the Eclipse IDE, you have the specific app here and its components of the web app component and the JavaScript and Java and CSS associated with the HTML5 app. This app happens to use Enyo, which is one of the capabilities that comes with HP Anywhere. And so within this, you can actually run and simulate the app as well on here. And so this is a simulation that allows you to simulate as you're developing the app on multiple devices, so an iPhone 4, an iPhone 5 device, and a Samsung Galaxy. And so the simulation and the testing that you can do as a developer within the simulator is accomplished here. And so if I let me look at this on an iPad mini as an example. So we'll drill into this app, and this is a very simple app that just allows you to add events that you're tracking, and you can drill into those events as an example, and save the calendar. And I just brought this into my Eclipse IDE so I could show the capabilities of what you would do within the IDE. So we can see as I go back here that, say we don't want this header bar to be blue. As a developer, you can actually change those, and you can see I've made it right here. If I make that red and save that, and then I go ahead and simply redeploy the app to be able to test it again, we should see that different result already in the emulator as I drill into the app. But this is the IDE for HP Anywhere, where you do the development of the applications. And so that's really, as we go back here, the full scope of what the platform provides. It's really the developer platform with the HTML5-based framework, the mini app concept, where you click on a single app on a single icon on your device, and you're able to see that. So this actual HP Anywhere app is downloaded from in this case, the iOS store. And so if you go look for that at the App Store, search for HP Anywhere, you're going to see that's downloaded from the App Store, and then you go ahead and open the app and authenticate into it once you've downloaded it. And so I'm not going to key that in, but that's where the app is downloaded from. So let me jump back in here. HP was compelled to create an enterprise mobile platform to support the mobile needs of their 300K workforce. The first solution was deployed was an employee expense management app. That app is deployed and used by HP users all over the world on their HP Anywhere platform. I'm involved with some of the reviews that go on with HP, and there are literally hundreds of enterprise apps being developed within the HP Enterprise on the HP Anywhere platform. So this is a continued path forward for HP with a big investment on the HP Anywhere platform. From a learn more perspective, you can certainly try the solution in developer environment. You can just go to developer.hpanywhere.com and you can get this SDK and actually start looking at the platform itself. So you can download the Eclipse plugin and the SDK, and there's developer guides to get you started. You can also sign up for a trial of an HP Anywhere platform where there are many apps already developed, and you can use those. From a results positive perspective, you've seen a couple of these. There's Sales Anywhere app and Partner Directory and Service Nomad, and the Big Data Conference app are a set of apps that we've developed for HP on the Anywhere platform. This is a good takeaway, and I included this slide to just give you the overall scope of what HP Anywhere is really looking at from a developer perspective, from an employee perspective, and from an IT manager's perspective. And it really, from a platform perspective, solves a lot of these challenges in a single solution. And so, there's stuff out there where you can develop in and build mobile apps, and there's clearly the current iOS App Store. But if you end up in an enterprise with a bunch of apps for your employees to be able to access the back-end systems, you really need to get them into a platform, and HP Anywhere provides that. And then I guess, from an IT manager perspective, the ability to secure that back-end data through the platform is one of the big drivers for organizations.